Dr. Cheyne. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today about clouded leopards.
Hi, Robert. It's really great to meet you and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. I think they win the award for the most adorable carnivore.
I would agree with you with that, definitely.
Clouded leopards are known for their beautiful, cloudy, patterned coats and amazing climbing abilities. I read that we don't know very much about them socially. Why is that?
Good question. So here is in the camera, stratus. We name our clouded leopards after types of clouds, cumulus, stratus. They're very shy, so you can't really go out and see them. So what we do to try and learn about them, understand them, is we use technology. We use these things called camera traps, and we put these out in the forest, and they take pictures anytime something walks past. And the photograph has a date and a time, and we can try and understand what they're doing. But clouded leopards, they've not received a lot of attention from conservation. People they focus on lions and tigers. So we're still really far behind in learning about them, what they do, where they go, what they eat. So it's really exciting that we can talk about clouded leopards today. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any funny stories about studying them in the wild?
Because most of the information we have comes from these camera trap photographs, I've only seen a wild clouded leopard myself one time. And this was at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was getting up with our Indonesian field team, and we were going to go and try and find gibbons in the wild to study their behavior. And we met a clouded leopard on one of the paths we have in the forest. And it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and we humans are very, very sleepy. And the clouded leopard is not expecting to see us. So we're kind of standing there looking at each other. And we humans, we're not quite sure whether we need to panic and run away. Clouded leopards don't really attack, but this is still a big cat with big teeth. And the clouded leopard is not really sure what to do either. So it's a bit of we're kind of playing chicken with each other. It's like, who moves first? Eventually, the clouded leopard decided, I'm bored, and he just carried on. And we humans moved very quickly out of the way. We don't have tigers on the island of Borneo, so the clouded leopard is the cat king of the jungle. And he definitely told us that day, he's the king, it's his space, we need to wait for him to move, and then we can move. But 4 o'clock in the morning was quite scary.
They live mostly in tropical rainforests across Southeast Asia and the footlands of the Himalayas. That seems like a big area. Are they threatened by habitat loss and defragmentation?
Yes, so there are two species of clouded leopard. There's the clouded leopard that lives on the mainland of Southeast Asia, and the clouded leopard species that lives on the islands of Sumatra and Borneo. And so they live across a big part of Southeast Asia, but they're big cats, so they need a lot of space. And because of that, they are affected. If they lose the forest, it means that the prey, so the animals they need to eat, are not there. They may be being hunted by people. So if people are hunting all the deer and pigs and other animals, it's difficult for the clouded leopards to find food. So it's not just about the loss of the forest, it's about the loss of animals that clouded leopards need to eat. They don't eat fruit, of course, they're cats, they eat meat. And fragmentation, that's a really good question. That's when you've got say a big chunk of forest, but it ends up being cut up into little bits. Maybe a road cuts through the middle, and that creates two forests instead of one. And because of human activities, it becomes nibbled away, eaten into smaller bits.
Yeah. So the parts of the forest just starts to disappear until it gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Exactly, yes.
I read that even though they're the smallest of the large cats, they have the largest canine teeth, like a prehistoric saber-toothed tiger, and can open their mouths 100 degrees. A lion can only do 65. What do you think is the coolest thing about them?
I think many things about them are cool, but yeah, they are a modern day saber tooth. So yeah, no, they don't have the really big canines like a saber tooth, but the power of their jaw, when we bite into our food, if we bite into something hard like an apple or a nut, we've got to use pressure from our teeth to break into that food. A clouded leopard can do that with so much more power. Its bite is so strong compared to a human. And that's why we call it a modern day saber tooth. Its neck muscles are really, really strong. And as you said already, they go up in trees. So I think that's one of the coolest things. They're really great on the ground. They're really great up in trees, and they have a super strong bite.
That's really cool. Do they ever bite themselves?
Good question. They probably don't bite themselves, but what they probably will do is, so they're territorial, which means that an individual cat will have a part of the forest that's their space, their home. They're probably not very happy if other cats come in. Maybe a male cat might allow a female cat in or the other way, but maybe two female cats probably don't want to share space. So they might get into a fight. But this is one of the things, like you say, about their social behavior. We just don't know. We're making these educated guesses based on what we know about other cat species. So this is what we do with science. If we don't know something, we look at another related cat similar to a clouded leopard that we do have information about, and we think, okay, so if maybe the females or the males fight, they get in each other's territory. But the exact details for the clouded leopard, we don't know. So there's a lot we don't know about the cloudies.
Their global population for the mainland clouded leopard are 3,770 to 5,580, but for the Sunda clouded leopard, there are an estimated 4,500. These numbers are adults only, so hopefully there are more cubs out. I've been learning that predators keep habitats healthy. Is this population big enough to make it? What do we lose if they disappear?
Goodness. You're right. You're absolutely right. Those numbers are for adults. And so hopefully we've got lots of cubs that can also help the population because the cubs are the future. What do we lose? Our ecosystems, whether they're in the UK or in Canada or in Indonesia or wherever, they're really complicated things. And I think we don't really fully understand yet what happens if we take something out. So again, I can use my science to make a good guess. So on Borneo, the Sunda clouded leopard is the top predator, not on Sumatra because the top predator there is a tiger. But what they do is, of course, they will eat meat. So again, we think most of what they are going to eat will be deer, probably bearded pigs, maybe some monkey species, probably other small mammals, but definitely meat. If we lose cats, well, we lose their genetic diversity, but also because they eat meat, they're regulating the numbers of bearded pigs or the numbers of deer. And if those populations go out of control, then they eat too much of the forest, which means that the forest becomes not really good enough. And we've seen examples of this where I'm from in Scotland, where we don't really have any big predators left. If you don't have predators who can control the population of prey, then the forest goes out of control and everything basically goes out of balance. We need all the animals because we need to have good balance.
Their forest habitat is experiencing the world's fastest rate of deforestation and is decreasing at a rate of 10% per year since 1997. What could kids like me do to help protect clouded leopards?
That's an excellent question. Several things. Tell your family, your friends, your parents, your guardians about everything you learn. Because one of the things I think we see now is that what happens out in Indonesia or in England or in any other part of the world, it's all connected. And so what you choose or your parents or guardians choose to buy might be something that comes from Southeast Asia. So it might have, for example, palm oil in it. But you can buy products that have got sustainable palm oil. So check what you buy when you go to your markets. Definitely don't use single-use plastic. Get your reusable coffee cup and reusable water bottle. You are too young for coffee, but and get everyone to use that because the less we use, the more we recycle. It really does make a global difference because we are connected. You know, a lot of people ask me this. It's not just about sending money to conservation organizations. Everything you do at home, make sure your recycling is good. Talk to your supermarkets and say, I don't want to buy products that don't have sustainable palm oil, and buy local. All these things you can do.
You work with Borneo Nature Foundation. Can you tell us what this charity does?
We've now been working out in the Indonesian part of Borneo since 1999, so a long time. And our focus is we want to use good science so that we can take conservation action. So like with the clouded leopards, we need to know what they eat and how much space they need. And we can do that using, camera traps and technology, and then we can turn that into conservation action. So we can replant more trees to recover the forest. We can work with local people in Indonesia to protect the forest. We can go into schools in Indonesia and in other countries all around the world and tell people about the work that we're doing. So we try to take an ecosystem approach. So we don't want to protect just one species because, like I said, it's all connected. we want to protect the whole forest and all the animals that live in it, even down to the ones that sometimes cause us a little bit of upset, like scorpions. Scorpions are important, but I tend to get stung by scorpions a lot. So I would like to protect the forest for scorpions, but scorpions and I need to be in separate places.
I actually have my own cat.
Really?
Yeah. You want me to go get her?
Sure.
She's very shy.
Just like a clouded leopard. I have 2 cats too, but yeah, they're also quite shy. Oh wow. What a beautiful color, all black.
No.
And what's your cat's name?
Emma.
Hi, Emma. I don't think Emma wants to be on YouTube.
Thank you for answering my questions and for joining us today. Click the link below to donate to Borneo Nature Foundation. And remember, together kids can save the world. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Robert.